I'm from Snatch The Root. We came here, two of us. There's the other guy behind there. Who are we? Well, the guy behind is our captain. We have some top secret people here, and that would be me. And what I'm gonna present to you is kind of a write-up of Central Square task from Boston Tea Party. The title I wrote there was wrong because I messed up the name. So, there's a task. It's a pawn. 200 should be pretty easy. The only text you got is check out new filter. The presentation is based on our IRC logs from our chat. So, the journey begins. So at the beginning, we managed to crash it by putting in some, because what it was doing, there was a website and it was accepting image files. Some of them it was happy with, some of them not. And it was processing it and returning something weird, something in text format. Well, I managed to crash it by, I remember putting some malformed files, and I discovered that he tries to compile it. He tries to do something with it. And then the long and painful wrong approach started. The idea was that it will take image, then it will spit out the format, but then it will do something with this format because he was crashing, trying to compile it. So the idea was feed him with image that will create this weird format that will form some kind of C source that will be compiled because we saw that he will try to compile it and maybe run. So the format begins, it will be later shown. The format begins with a color table. Each color was converted to letters. And then those letters were used to describe the image. So my idea was, let's use lots of colors, create lots of letters, and then maybe try to assemble something from single pixels to make something happen. So I used lots of rainbows. I also wrote tiny script to generate huge images, small images, but it was going nowhere because all the colors were two letters and there were spaces and I couldn't do something like, I know, system ls, something useful. So then the CTF style thinking came. It must be easy, we're overdoing something. And that's the way you should always think. During CTFs, if something has low points, it means that it should be easy. And if you're doing it for a very long time, you're doing it wrong. Or organizers underscored the, the task, and it should have much higher point value, and that's a trap task. There are sometimes those. And then I was going through lots of rainbows and colors and trying to assemble C code. And my friend went the other way to malform the file itself, to send malformed headers, wrong sizes and everything possible. And he said, I got a different error than you. What's the error? Nah, it's not interesting. What's the error? This. And then here, that gave the answer, what's this weird format that it was transforming to? That's the first time I saw it. It's the format that takes an image and allows you to store it in a string of characters, because you might want to, I don't know. So it looks exactly like this. That's taken from Wikipedia, I think. It defines a table, then it defines the header, showing how big it is, how many letters will be describing the colors, Then you have the palette, and it says this A is a color of this value. That's what I was trying to make huge and get lots of letters, because then from those letters, he assembles this array, and I was hoping to get something useful there, but yeah, it was so wrong. So, XPM, first thought, maybe there is a vulnerability in the XPM conversion. And it was a wrong thought again, because yes, there is, but we don't know which library is used, and if it's used, then we have no idea what to do with it later, and still, it's only 200 tasks. It can't be this. And then the time of revelation came. Maybe we could just drop the final XPM file. We create it, we give it to him, and then he will compile and do something with it. And yes, he accepted the XPM. So happy end was that I redefined the print with a macro, because I assumed that if he's showing something to the screen, he will invoke print. And C allows you to do stupid things like redefine something to whatever, and then he will be happy with it. True false should also work. And that's note to self. If you're taking part in CTFs, have your fridge full. The solution looked like this. That's something to make him happy, and that's something that will override the print. And then somewhere below there was the code that was using this thing and trying to print it, and then he was, instead of printing, he was returning the key. And my point is that whatever you're doing during solving CTFs, you should talk with the team. And really, if you even think that it doesn't matter, it doesn't make sense, tell it to everyone, because someone can make sense out of it by accident because he knows something, he saw something. And also, if you don't have a team, find one. It's much more fun to be with people. I started to playing alone. And, well, it was fun, but in a team, it's much more fun. And also, the second point, which I'm using during CTFs, is something kind of rubber duck debugging. You go over each and every line, and you explain to someone, like to a rubber duck sitting right next to you, what is it doing. And I usually do it to our friend Ariel, because he's doing some exploits or something, and it should work, it doesn't work, but everything should work, and what is it doing? I know what is it, but I don't know. And then he yells at me, and then he starts to talk, and then, oh, no, it's not doing this, it's doing something different, and then he discovers why it's not working. So yeah, it usually helps. And that's my office with my rubber duck. Yes, it works. And it's a she. It's Satan's duck, but it's a she. That's all I know about her, and I'm afraid to ask. So, because sometimes she falls down, but I think she's forgiving me. So, and bonus observation, because everyone is all about reading write-ups, and it's really, yes, it's good. You learn new things, but you have this. Those things will happen. At least they happened to me before I started to play. You'll see all the write-ups, and ooh, you read, I don't know, one screen of text. That's simple, and they did it I read it in 5 minutes. They made it in half an hour. Because most of the write-ups don't mention that we had 5 people working on it for half a day or 2 days or something. And yeah, you will have false view over how it really works. You just have to start, and it's really fun. Thanks.